It started with a dream so vivid it shook you out of sleep. You were standing in a field of crystalline light, surrounded by colors you've never seen before. The sky was alive, the ground humming, and in the distance, a voice called your name, not your earth name, but your soul name. You didn't understand it, but you felt it. A sense that you were remembering something ancient, something beyond this world. And then you woke up, heart racing, tears in your eyes, wondering what it all meant. That was the moment your awakening truly began. Because once you've heard that call, nothing in your life will ever look the same again. You are not here to live a normal life. You are here to remember who you are and awaken to your galactic mission as a crystal chosen one. And the signs are already unfolding within you. The first sign is that you feel like Earth is not your home. You've probably felt this since childhood. You'd stare at the stars and feel a longing you couldn't explain. You were drawn to sci-fi, to fantasy, to stories of other worlds because a part of you knew those weren't just stories. They were echoes, memories. You might have even asked your parents as a child, "When can I go home?" Not because anything was wrong, but because something deep inside you remembered the vibration of your original frequency. That crystalline purity, that sense of peace and unity, that connection to the all. And ever since then, you felt like a visitor here, like you're in the world, but not fully of it. That's not a flaw. That's one of your greatest confirmations. Because crystal chosen ones are seeded here from higher star systems, sent to anchor new frequencies into the Earth grid. You are not lost. You are placed. The second sign is your hypersensitivity to energy. You feel everything vibes in a room, the emotions of strangers, even the tension in a conversation before a word is spoken. This might have felt overwhelming at times. Maybe you were labeled as too sensitive growing up, but that sensitivity is not weakness. It's your crystalline technology online. Your nervous system is tuned to a higher bandwidth. You don't just perceive energy, you translate it. And as you begin to awaken, you realize that your sensitivity is your strength. It guides you. It protects you. It gives you insight others miss. But it also requires care. You must learn to clear your field daily, to set boundaries, to protect your frequency like it's sacred, because it is. And the more you honor this gift, the more you'll begin to sense energy from other dimensions, from your star family, from your mission team that has never left your side.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Another undeniable sign is the deep inner knowing that you have a purpose, but it doesn't fit any conventional path. You've tried the normal route: school, jobs, roles, and they always felt too small. It's not that you're lazy or lost. It's that your soul refuses to conform to a system that was never built for your frequency. You were born to build new systems, to bring through technologies of the heart, of frequency, of light. That's why nothing satisfies you unless it's aligned with truth. That's why you feel this constant pull to create, to share, to heal, to awaken. You are not here to climb ladders. You're here to build bridges. And the moment you stop trying to fit in and start tuning in, your mission will begin to unfold. Not as a career path, but as a living transmission. There is a moment in the crystal chosen one's awakening where everything begins to unravel. Maybe you lost relationships. Maybe your health forced you to slow down. Maybe you left a job or a city or a belief system that once defined you. This is not a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. The fourth sign is the sacred collapse, the dismantling of everything that isn't aligned with your truth. It can feel terrifying, lonely, confusing, but it's necessary because your crystalline frequency is incompatible with distortion. And anything in your life that isn't pure, isn't real, isn't aligned, it must fall. Not to punish you, but to prepare you, and to make space for the new, for the real, for the encoded path that is already written into your DNA. Can you trust that the collapse is the recalibration? Can you trust that what's leaving is only clearing the space for what your soul has been asking for all along? Another powerful sign is your connection to crystals, light, and sacred geometry. You're not just drawn to them, they speak to you. Maybe you've picked up a crystal and felt it pulse in your hand. Maybe you've looked at sacred symbols and felt your body respond with chills or emotion. That's not your imagination. That's resonance. Your crystalline template responds to encoded symbols and structures because they activate you. They remind you. They recalibrate your field. And as you deepen your connection with these tools, you'll begin to receive guidance through them. You may start to hear messages in meditation. You may begin to see light codes in your dreams. You may even start drawing or speaking languages you've never learned in this life. These are all signs that your multidimensional gifts are coming back online. Don't doubt them. Don't dismiss them. Document everything. Because what starts as a whisper will become a roar. One of the most intense signs that you are awakening to your galactic mission is the feeling of urgency. It's like a timer went off inside of you. You feel like you're supposed to be doing something important, but you can't quite name it yet. You feel the earth calling. You feel the collective pain. You feel this invisible pressure to remember faster, to awaken deeper, to act sooner. That urgency isn't anxiety, it's activation. It's your soul clock aligning with Earth's ascension timeline. You came with codes meant for this exact window in time. And now, the mission is turning on. The downloads are increasing. The dreams are intensifying. The synchronicities are multiplying. Because you are being guided. And the more you follow that pull, the signs, the nudges, the inner voice, the more you will realize that you've been preparing for this your entire life. But perhaps the most undeniable sign is that you are beginning to remember who you are beyond this life. You've had flashes, visions of other lifetimes, other planets, other bodies. You've dreamt of ships in the sky, of councils of light, of missions you agreed to before you were born. And those memories aren't fantasy. They're codes unlocking. Your crystalline DNA holds the records of your soul. And as your frequency rises, those records begin to surface. You remember your star lineage. You remember the agreements you made. You remember why you chose to come here at this time, despite the density, despite the risk, despite the forgetting. Because deep down you knew humanity would need your light, your clarity, your remembering. And now that moment is here. But with all of this awakening comes a responsibility. We are not here to just collect spiritual knowledge. We are here to embody it, to walk it, to become it. Because the earth doesn't need more information. It needs frequency holders, beings who can walk through chaos and hold peace, who can transmit love in the face of fear, who can remember their mission even when the matrix tries to seduce them back into sleep. Every moment you choose your truth, you are anchoring light into the grid. Every time you shift your field from fear to love, you are fulfilling your mission. Every time you speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, you are activating others. That is the ripple effect of awakening. And it starts with you. So now I ask you, are you willing to fully step into your galactic identity, even if the world doesn't understand it yet? Are you ready to live as the frequency you came to embody, even if it means walking alone for a while? Are you ready to stop waiting and start transmitting? Because the time is not coming. The time is now. And the mission doesn't start when you have all the answers. It starts the moment you say yes to the remembering. When you begin to understand that everything you're going through is not random, but part of a much larger orchestration, your entire relationship with the world changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And begin asking, what is this activating in me? That shift in perception is one of the biggest markers that your crystalline nature is awakening. You realize that your life has been a series of coded experiences designed to trigger your remembering. Every heartbreak, every loss, every moment of confusion served one ultimate purpose: to strip away everything false so you could finally recognize the truth of who you are. You were never meant to fit into the systems of this world. You were meant to change them by embodying a frequency that exists beyond them. As a crystal chosen one, you are not just waking up to your mission, you are becoming the mission. Your entire life is the transmission. And that's why things often feel more intense for you. You feel the collective as if it were your own pain. You sense timelines collapsing before others even notice. You walk into spaces and instantly feel what isn't in alignment. This is the cost of high-frequency awareness. But it's also your greatest gift. Because where others see chaos, you see opportunity. Where others feel lost, you feel the pulse of a higher order emerging. And this is where your leadership begins, not by controlling others, but by embodying truth so fully that it becomes a lighthouse for those still navigating the fog. One of the most important things to remember on this path is that awakening is not linear. There will be days you feel fully activated, crystalline, expanded. And there will be days where the density pulls you back into old patterns, old doubts, old fears. Do not judge yourself for this. The crystalline body is learning how to exist in a world that was not built to support it. You are rewiring your nervous system, your emotional body, your cellular memory. That takes time. That takes grace. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, every time you return to your truth, you strengthen the crystalline grid, not just within you, but across the planet. There will come a moment when you begin to feel your star family around you. You may not see them with your physical eyes, but you will know. In deep meditation, in dreams, in moments of stillness, you will feel their presence. They will begin to communicate not in words, but in frequencies, in symbols, in light codes that speak directly to your soul. And as you open to that connection, your sense of isolation will begin to dissolve. You'll remember that you are not alone. that you have never been alone, that there are beings watching over you who know your mission, who rejoice in your progress, who are guiding you every step of the way. All you have to do is ask, and then listen. This connection to your star origins will awaken something else, the ability to channel information from higher realms. You might find yourself writing things you didn't know you knew, speaking in languages you never learned, drawing symbols that carry energy. These are not talents you're learning, they are gifts you are remembering. Because as a crystal chosen one, your DNA carries dormant codes from other lifetimes, other dimensions, other civilizations. And as your frequency rises, those codes begin to activate. You don't need to study to access them. You need to align. Alignment is the key to multidimensional access. And when your heart, mind, and body are in coherence, you become the channel you've been seeking. You will also begin to notice that time behaves differently around you. This is not your imagination. As you align with your crystalline frequency, you begin to operate outside of linear time. You'll have days where hours feel like minutes, or where everything you needed shows up in perfect sequence, as if orchestrated by a higher force. That's because you are no longer manifesting through effort, you are manifesting through vibration. You are syncing with quantum timelines, and in that space, time bends to meet your frequency. You become a master of flow, not force. And the more you trust that rhythm, the more miraculous your life becomes. But with this power also comes the need for deep responsibility. You are no longer just living for yourself. Your choices, your frequency, your presence, it all ripples into the collective. That's why you can't afford to stay in fear. That's why you can't keep playing small to make others comfortable. That's why you must speak your truth, even when it shakes the room. Because your frequency is a catalyst. When you walk into a space, you shift the field. When you speak, you activate memory in others. When you stand in your power, you give unspoken permission for others to rise. This is the deeper purpose of your galactic mission, not to save the world, but to remind it who it is. As your awakening deepens, you'll begin to receive visions of the new earth. You'll see communities built on love, not fear. Education systems that honor the soul. Healing technologies that work with light and sound. You'll see crystalline cities, floating temples, spaces of peace and beauty beyond anything this current world offers. These are not fantasies. These are previews. Your soul is showing you what you came here to help birth. And the more you anchor into those visions, the more you become the bridge. The future is not something we wait for. It's something we remember and anchor into the now. You are part of a mission far greater than your individual life. You are part of a collective wave of crystalline souls strategically placed across the planet to hold the frequency during this time of transition. You are not here to convert anyone. You are here to radiate truth. And as you do, those who are ready will feel it. They will be drawn to you, not because of what you say, but because of what you are. That's the real power of a crystal chosen one. You don't convince, you remind. You don't preach, you transmit. You don't lead through force, you lead through frequency. But perhaps the most sacred part of your awakening is this: you begin to fall in love with your humanity. Not despite your galactic nature, but because of it. You realize that your soul chose this body, this life, this earth, not as punishment but as purpose. You are here to bring heaven to earth, to infuse the physical with the divine, to merge the stars with the soil. And that means embracing your emotions, your body, your voice, your imperfections. Because the more you ground into your humanity, the more fully your galactic gifts can express through you. The mission is not to escape Earth, it is to transform it from the inside out. So I ask you again, are you ready to fully embody the crystalline frequency that you are? Are you ready to stop waiting for permission and begin living as the activated soul you came here to be? Are you ready to trust the visions, the dreams, the whispers of your soul over the noise of the world? Because the time for hiding is over. The time for dimming is done. You are not here to remember later. You are here to transmit now. As you continue to awaken, you'll begin to feel a deep cellular shift, a reorganization of your very being. It's subtle at first. You may feel more sensitive to light, to sound, to certain foods. You may find yourself shedding long-held habits or even relationships that no longer resonate. But this is not just change. This is recalibration. Your crystalline template is activating, and your body is adjusting to hold more light. This is your vessel preparing to become a transmitter of interstellar codes. You are not upgrading randomly. Your soul is synchronizing your biology with your mission. The density that once felt normal now becomes unbearable. The silence you once avoided becomes sacred. You are no longer who you were, and you cannot go back. That's not loss, it's emergence. Being. At this stage, your intuition sharpens in ways that defy logic. You begin to sense energy before it arrives. You feel the truth behind words that are never spoken. You know which path to take, even when all evidence says otherwise. You begin to remember ahead of time. This is not superstition. This is inner technology awakening. The crystalline soul is multidimensional by nature. It doesn't rely on the five senses it projects from the sixth, seventh, and beyond. The more you trust this inner knowing, the more precise your alignment becomes. Doubt fades, fear dissolves, and in its place, clarity rises not as something you try to find, but as something that emerges from within you. You may also begin to experience what some call walk-in moments or soul overlays, sudden shifts where you feel like an entirely new version of yourself enters the body. These moments can be disorienting. One day you're you, and the next you feel like your thoughts, your emotions, even your voice have shifted. This is not fragmentation. This is integration. As your galactic memory returns, aspects of your higher self, your oversoul, even your star family may begin to merge with your physical expression. You are becoming a conduit, not just for your individual soul, but for the greater mission you are a part of. And this mission includes not just communicating with higher realms, it includes becoming a living embodiment of them on Earth. At this point in your journey, your dreams become more vivid, more instructional, more galactic in nature. You may visit ships, meet councils of light, or remember tasks you've been performing in other dimensions while your body sleeps. These are not dreams in the traditional sense. These are missions. Parts of your soul are already active in other realms, working on the evolution of Earth, anchoring codes into the collective grid, healing timelines that ripple into the now. And as you awaken more fully, the veil thins. You begin to remember what your soul is doing when you are asleep, and you realize you are never truly resting, you are always in service. That is the devotion of a crystal chosen one. The mission is not part-time. It is woven into your essence. There is a deep humility that comes with this awakening. You begin to see yourself not as special, but as assigned. You didn't choose this path to be seen, you were chosen because you could hold the vibration. You could remember under pressure. You could stand in truth when others collapsed into fear. That's why your path has been so intense. That's why you've often felt isolated, misunderstood, or tested. Because you needed to forge a frequency that could hold under planetary transformation. And you did. You're here, you're awake, and now your presence is needed more than ever. As you move deeper into your mission, you'll find that your very being begins to organize reality around it. You'll attract the right souls, the right resources, the right moments with uncanny precision. This is not coincidence. This is coherence. When your frequency becomes crystalline, it creates a field of magnetism that draws in exactly what's needed, not just for your personal journey, but for the collective unfolding. You are no longer manifesting from desire. You are manifesting from assignment. And what you attract is not based on want, it's based on vibration. That's why you must stay clear. Stay aligned. Stay rooted in your truth. Because the clearer your signal, the more powerful your impact. Your relationships will also shift. Some will fall away, gently or abruptly. Others will enter your life as if they were always meant to be there. You'll begin to recognize other chosen ones. You'll feel it in their field, in their presence, in the way your soul exhales around them. This is soul recognition, mission alignment, star family reunion. These connections are not random, they are strategic. Together you are weaving the new Earth grid through the simple act of being who you really are. Every time you gather, whether in person or in energy, you amplify the field. You stabilize the light. You hold the line for others to awaken. That is how we rise, not alone, but in resonance. And now, let's speak of the Earth. Because your mission is not to escape it, it is to restore it. You came not to ascend out, but to descend light into matter. To bring the purity of the crystalline realms into the soil, the water, the breath of this planet. You are here to remember the ancient ways, to restore the codes in the land, to sing the frequencies back into the stones, the rivers, the trees. Every time you walk in nature, you are not just grounding, you are communicating. The Earth hears you. She knows you. She remembers the promise you made before you came. And as you live in alignment with your mission, she responds. She supports. She harmonizes with your frequency. Because you and she are not separate. You are co-creators in this planetary awakening. One of the most powerful signs you are fulfilling your galactic mission is this. You begin to feel peace, even in the midst of chaos. The world may be unraveling, systems may be collapsing, shadows may be surfacing, but within you, a stillness grows. Not because you are numb, but because you are anchored. Anchored in the truth of why you came. Anchored in the knowing that this is the time you prepared for through lifetimes. Anchored in the unwavering remembrance that light always prevails not through force, but through frequency. And that frequency is you. So now I ask you, not as a guru, not as a teacher, but as a fellow chosen one, will you claim your role, not from ego, but from purpose? Will you live each day as if your vibration matters because it does? Will you walk this earth as the crystalline frequency you are, knowing that every breath, every thought, every word is a transmission into the grid? Will you trust that your presence alone is enough to shift timelines, awaken hearts, and fulfill the mission you came here for? Because the truth is, you are not waiting on the mission. The mission is waiting on you, not the future version of you, not the perfect, awakened, fully confident version of you, but this you, the one who remembers, the one who chooses truth even when it hurts, the one who loves so deeply it breaks every illusion, the one who came not to fit in, but to transmit a frequency this world forgot it needed. You are the mission. You are the message. You are the crystalline code awakening in human form. And now, the time has come. Transmit.